I think today's class will discuss about a namespace, what a namespace is, uh, why we would need them, and how to avoid how to overcome that duplicate code or duplicate variables and all some many errors that you would see. Okay, so
Means it is a
variable.
part of the template only, sir, or it
It
is
is not part
different?
of template. It is a separate concept itself. Namespace is
Okay, okay.
separate
Mm-hmm.
concept itself. So
Yes,
in our code, you would have seen using namespace std, all right. It's
mm-hmm.
similar to that. Okay. So okay, what is a namespace, or what is the syntax of it? A namespace defines beginning. It is something which you begin with the keyword namespace, and then you give any name. Like it is similar to like how you declare a class. So the syntax is similar to that class and variable
Mm-hmm.
class name. So namespace starts with a keyword name and followed by whatever the name that you want to give. So whatever declarations that you want to do, whatever the classes, functions, variables, global variables that you want to declare, you can declare inside this namespace. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'll lock the door. Back, sorry. So this namespace, whatever you declare inside this namespace, right, that will be accessible using that namespace only. You just need to declare that I want to use the contents of this namespace. Then whatever that you declare inside that will become visible for us. Okay. So a typical example we can see here. I'll just copy this code. Yeah. So what we have done here is, so we have declared two namespaces, namespace one, first namespace, and second namespace. Both have functions. Functions, same functions. Okay. Both have same function name. You see, both are same. And inside that, you are writing your own logic, whatever logic that you want to write. But when you are using, right, you are allowed to use whichever you want. You can call this one or this one. Okay. So how we can achieve that is, okay, let me comment this. Now, if you see this, right, this func is undefined. Okay. So you declare something like this. So you want to call a function, okay, which is declared inside this namespace. So you call a namespace के अंदर what you have, all this is that you want to call. Okay, this one you want to call. So when you do this call, right, the function which is inside this namespace will get executed, and this will be printed. Okay. Similarly, what you can do is you can call the same function name but with a different namespace. Okay, with a different namespace. So then what happened? The other guy's function will be called. Okay, so why would this is required is, okay, you can have a project wherein there are more than 30, 40, 50 files.
Yes,
Okay,
yes. We can navigate those namespace. Means
yeah,
whatever the particular namespace we need,
yeah,
and we
we can
can navigate.
rather than navigating, you can ask the developers to use a functions or variable names that are specific to them, which are also can be common. Okay. Now, in first 10 files, you have a function with a name. Okay, func. Okay, which will do
Mhm.
something else. Okay. In the rest 10 files, you have a other code which also have a function by name func, but that will do something else. Okay. They both are both the functions are having same name. Okay, or return type also, but the functionality is completely different. Okay. So how you can solve this problem? Okay. So you can declare first 10 files under one namespace and second 10 files under separate namespace. Okay, and in the rest of the files, you can use a particular specific one which you need. Or one you want to use, that one you can declare. And so we'll test this one. Okay. Okay, now we have this file. Okay, let's save this file. Now we will do. So this got compiled. Now if I print execute this, what it is printing? The first function call that I made is which is under first namespace. So inside first namespace, so we have a second uh, function call which is from the second. So you can have now the this part of the code is getting executed. Not just that, you can declare some int here int is equal to 100, and it can print I. Okay, and here you can have char is again I. See that the name is same, but what it has is completely different. You can say I. Okay, the same name. Okay, now let's compile this and see what happens. It is printing 100 from this, and whatever the character that you allocated here is C. Okay, we'll just put a space here. So this will become visible. Okay. So with the help of namespace, you can have two things with same name, but it can be of different behavior or same behavior. That's up to you. Okay. So earlier, what we used to do, we used to have global variable in I is equal to I think 99. Okay. Now you cannot have create one more variable of this type, right? You cannot have more variable of this type. Okay, you have to declare namespaces to solve the problem. Okay. And when you say I is equal to 10 here, so this variable will be assigned. Now we can avoid all such problems. Okay, using this namespaces. Now,
Hmm.
did I be able to explain you what this namespaces are, right?
Sir, your voice is little bit
Okay.
means it is
Now,
hearing like you are saying some far away.
okay.
The mic
Maybe
is not
my
near, so
mic
like
is
that it
not in
is.
right place, I think. Okay. Now you are, but you understood whatever I said, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Understood.
So now I'll explain. So now, so far you understood the namespace keyword.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now there is something like using namespace. What is using namespace? Means, see,
So,
whenever you want to call this function func, okay, you need to mention a specific namespace. From which namespace you want to call this?
mm,
I repeat, from which namespace you want to call this func. So can I reduce number of words that I am typing here? Okay. So for that, you can do something like this. You can predefine, you can predefine, okay, from now on, from now on, after line number 33 onwards, I am going to use the namespace by name first space. Okay, by name first space. So whatever global variables or functions that you declare, right, they become visible. Plus the namespace first space, they become visible to the compiler. Okay, so when you call func, now it will look for func globally. On the global space, if there is func, it will call it. Now at the global space, it is not there. There is no function by name. There is no function with the name func outside. Okay, outside the namespace. So it will look for other namespaces. What is the namespace that you have declared here? That is first space. Is there a func which is part of first namespace? Yes, we have. So it will just place this one here. So it will refer to this one and it will call this one.
Mhm.
Now we will just compile this and see what happens. I didn't save this. Okay, now I compiled it and executed it. Now it says inside first namespace, okay, 100. So I just calling this part of the code. Okay. So not just the functions, it can you can access the variables also at this scope. Okay. So whatever now the I, right? Now it will whenever you call I, it will look for I here. Now you don't have any I declared here, but is there an I at global scope? No, there is no I at global scope. Now is there any I at namespace? Now what is the namespace that we want to see? First namespace. So first namespace under we have I, so it will pick the I and put the reference of that here. Okay. So now we'll test and see what it returns. Can it save again? Built and it returned inside first namespace 100 and 100. Okay. Now the same code I'll change my namespace to something else. So second, I'll compile the same code and executing the same code.
See,
Okay.
see, yes. Correct.
Now it is different.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is what namespace provides you. Okay. So inside this you can declare a class. Okay. Here also you can declare a class with the same names, completely same. Okay. And if based on your interest, you can use whichever object that you want. Okay. Like yesterday class, we did the stacks, right? Okay. I
Mhm.
can I can have a stack, okay, of my type. Okay. Here I said
Mhm.
stack means it is doing this array of max size and
Mhm.
doing all those things. Okay. Now I
Yes,
can
yes,
take this code and put it in one of the namespace. Okay. And
yes.
do it. Now someone else will come. He says he's also written a stack.
Means
Yeah.
we can insert means we can write it down namespace, second space, and whatever the programs is there, that whole class program I can put it here.
Access
So it will
access
come, right?
using this.
Mm-hmm.
You can here
Mm-hmm.
put here. Now someone will come and say, no, not your stack. My stack is also better. Like someone else wrote the same code, the
Mm-hmm.
stack. Okay. Here we did new and all, right?
Okay.
Here we did some pop top is equal to something, top is equal to minus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he wanted to do it in a different way. He can remove the auto keyword and he can write. Okay, whatever way
Mm-hmm.
that he wants. Now he wrote it and the name is completely same. Okay, name
Okay.
selected
But
everything.
template one we can't use, right? Means this template things and all.
So you can copy
Uh,
everything. You can copy
everything I can
everything.
do.
You can
Okay, okay.
copy
I thought
everything.
only class only you can copy.
No, you can copy everything and paste here and paste here or here,
Okay.
here or here. Okay, but only when declaring this one, right? When declaring a stack, you
Hmm.
need to specify from which namespace you are using.
Means which namespace we need to
Using.
means will use.
Now
Yeah.
the default namespace is second space. So whatever that
Hmm.
you declared here, it will take. Okay. Now if you want it to be more specific, you can say something like this. Okay.
Hmm.
So this will become
Yes.
visible there. So I can just copy paste this and you
Means
can
you
see
can
the
call any type of classes. Means if you want.
any type of classes means.
Means any classes, not any type. Any classes we can call
You
there.
can create
Means if it's specific.
a class inside a namespace.
Hmm.
Okay, you can create a class inside a namespace. And if you want access to that, okay. So here you see inside first namespace, I have declared stack.
Hmm.
Inside first namespace, I have declared stack template.
Hmm.
So here, if I make it first space or stack, I don't see any compilation issues. Okay.
Hmm.
Now if I make it second namespace, you would see error saying that
Okay.
identifier s int is undefined. There is nothing
Undefined.
like
Yes.
there is no stack. See,
Yes.
namespace second space has no member stack.
Hmm.
Okay. So this is can be used for something like some code which has same names, function names, and all are same, but the internal implementation is completely different.
Hmm.
Okay, to overcome such thing, you can use all this namespaces and all. Okay, okay.
Okay.
I'll close this. Next, we'll go with next example they have. So next one is nested namespace. So you can have a namespace के अंदर namespace.
A
Okay,
namespace. Yes.
it just this is namespace के अंदर namespace. We'll see what this does and how
Hmm.
we can use it. Okay, so here they have used second namespace. We'll put it as first order. First order with second order. So second order is inside first order. We want to give some different names so that you can understand. Okay, so what they have done here is same. They have declared a namespace by name first order. Inside that they just wrote a function void func. Okay, now they wanted one more namespace which is inside the namespace, and they just wanted to write the same func which is inside it. Okay, but it will do something else. Okay, this is for your understanding only. So how we use it, it matters. People will not use with the same name, but some variables are outside, some variables are inside. Okay, for hiding they would use it. Okay, so now if you want to call this function, right, we need to call x dot y. something like this. Namespace
The
first
function
order.
one, function two, like that you can call, right? Not an function one, function two.
What does function one dot function two? I didn't get it.
Yes, yes, like that only.
See, you
Function
mean to say
dot
function
one,
one, this is function two, ah?
function two. Yes, yes.
See, the idea of namespace is to avoid avoid renaming. Okay, someone
Mm-hmm.
has given you a code. Okay, someone has
Okay.
given you a code which has some 10 functions. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
out of which three function names are common in someone else's code,
Mm-hmm.
and you are combining both and writing an application.
Okay.
So that is when you do this.
Mm. No, it is. I think is it possible or it's not
Like
possible.
possible means I didn't get it. So you mean
Mm.
to say this function one,
Mm.
this is function two. This is possible. It has no nothing wrong. But what is the use of it?
Okay. Means
Okay,
we
what is the
can
use of?
recognize easily. Means
Like,
you
then
can
you don't need
easily
namespace itself,
recognize.
right? Then you don't need namespace itself.
Okay.
So you are asking developer to make changes to the code and give you again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you don't want your developer to make changes to the code. Okay, you can just
Mm-hmm.
ask them, put your code inside a namespace. Okay, he will just copy this and put everywhere. Now he has 30 or 40 pages of file. Okay, everywhere he
Mm-hmm.
cannot go on rename, right? Okay, that will become
Yes, yes,
very difficult. So you can
yes.
ask them to put inside a namespace. Okay, put it on top. That's done. For all the files you have, we'll put this on top, and that is done. So now the client or the user, okay, will use whatever he want. If he wants to use from first order this part of the code, he will use the namespace with rest, which is just first order. If he wants to use the second order one, he will mention it twice. First order colon second order. Now in this case, the function is part of second order. Okay, this is the namespace which is visible. Okay, and he will use this. Okay, now we can test this and see. Now you see this is inside this second order. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this function is part of second order. This one is called. Now I can just remove this. Now you will see this function is part of first order.
First order.
This one will be called. See, the first order results will be called. Okay. Now, will the variables be visible? Need to see. We'll see. Now, what is the namespace that is visible here? What is the namespace that is visible here?
Only 100. I mean, first order, right?
First
First order
order.
means,
So inside first
yeah.
order, what
Inside
we have?
first order, 100.
We
I,
have I
mm-hmm.
and func. So these both are visible. So this will compile. This will run. We'll see the result. It
Inside
will
first
come.
order, after that, 100.
Yeah.
It is. Mm.
Now we'll see the result. You would see
No, inside
inside first
first
order
order, after that,
and
100.
100.
100.
Now we will say we'll make this change. Okay. Now what happens? The function is part of this. The function is part of this because the second order has something by name function. So this is visible. Even if you see, if you click here, right, it will come here. Okay. But what happened to I? It's saying error. There is no
Mm.
there is no such I, because you said I want to see only the contents which are part of second order. So whatever that you declare here inside this namespace, only they are visible. This is not visible. Okay. So when you ask, I want a second order, only second order contents are visible, not the things which is outside it. So this is not visible. Okay. Now what if I put this here? Now this becomes visible. Now you don't see any error. Okay. Now what if I remove second order here? What will happen? In first order, what it has function and a just a namespace. It doesn't have anything which is inside it. Now it is showing I is not visible because the first order has only this one and this namespace. That's all. But nothing inside the namespace are visible. Okay, only this and this name is visible. That's all. So you again see error. So you need to specifically mention from which namespace you are trying to refer. So you
Yes.
can declare something like second order here, or you can solve this like this. Now you see the problem is gone.
Mm.
Okay, now you
Okay.
can compile this and see you do not see any issues. So I'm clear, right, on this? No doubts on this.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Clear.
okay, that's good. I think someone else joined. Smita joined. Hey, hi Smita. Think joined late. But Smita, you are familiar with namespace concepts?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, are you familiar with this namespace concepts?
Namespace. No, sir.
Sorry.
Only I understood syntax. That syntax I understood like namespace is like keyword,
Uh-huh.
and you have to declare another one variable.
Okay,
Another.
okay. So when you say, see, why we use namespace is, okay. So
It is class
okay,
name or key.
for just separating, why we use namespace is like, see, you can have a huge code like 10 files of application or 20 files of applications you can have. Okay, when you write functions, right, you cannot come up with different names every time. All the 40 files cannot have completely different function names. Okay, that becomes very difficult for us. Okay, so to avoid such problems, right? Okay, we can put certain part of the codes in certain namespaces, and you can have functions. Okay, which which will have common names. Okay, now I see I have two functions with same name with the same name, but this guy will do some other operation. He is doing some other operation. Okay, but the function names are same. In C, what will happen if you declare function twice? It will say already declared, redeclaration, all errors you will get. Okay. So in C++, you can put those functions inside some namespace and solve the problem. So in the previous example, what I did is I declared two variables, int and int. They both are in different namespace. And I declared a same function. The signature is same. Okay. But what it does is completely different. Now, which one you want to access? You can just say using namespace, second namespace, and you call them. Okay. When you do this, right, this the contents of second namespace will be called. Now, if you want to call the first namespace, you just say using first namespace, and the first namespace wala function will be called. So that's what the namespace does. Okay. Nested namespace just adds one more layer inside a namespace. Okay. You can have first order, उसके अंदर you can have second order. Okay, based on what you have mentioned here, only those are visible. Here I mentioned first order, so only that are written inside the first order are visible. Okay, anything that is inside it, okay, is not visible. Okay, if you want to get access to it, you need to mention something like this. Okay, then the function that you see here, right, which is declared here, this becomes visible and you will get this output. And the int variable is declared here, so this will be printed. Okay, I'm clear. Okay, think I'll start with the next one. I think we'll rejoin the class. We are just almost done with our 40 minutes. Just rejoin.
Okay.
Okay, let's wait for her to join. Okay, next we have something like global namespace and all. Third problem. Okay, good. She joined. Okay, so the next one is global namespace or global variables. Okay, and local variables, global variables, local variables, and all. Okay, now in this example, if you see, I have val declared three places. Int here. Okay, I have declared it here and inside a namespace and inside a main function. So this becomes a local variable. This is a global variable. The other one is a variable which is ticked, which is inside a namespace, which is ticked inside a namespace. Now, if I want to access each one in the same place, how we can access? I'll show you. Accessing means I'll just try to print the contents. Okay. So the variable at the global namespace, if you want to access it, okay, you remove a name and just put double colon. So it will refer to global variable. You see, it is referring to a global variable. Okay. Now second one is inside this namespace. Okay. Now I declared a namespace by name first. Okay. I want to make changes to the value or access this one. So what, in order to access this, I should say so on so namespace followed by variable. So this code will remain unchanged. It is fine. Now I have a value which is a local variable. Now I have a variable which is completely local. Okay. So since this is local, right, there is no namespace or scope associated to it. So it is just local variable. So it will point to a local variable one. Okay. Now if I try to print Okay, all three will be compiled. I mean, this code will compile and print different values. Here it will print 10, 500 and 200. Okay, we'll just start and define. Let me save this. Okay, just compile. Now if you see here, at this first result is 100. Now which value is 100? This one. This is a global variable. In order to access a global variable, you should mention colon twice. The scope resolution operator in C++, we call it as scope resolution operator twice without any name, because global means global. There is no name associated with that. We just say empty. Okay, and followed by scope resolution operator, and you say val. Okay, but if you want to access content which is inside this namespace, you say first followed by val. Okay, and that you can access, you can make changes, you can add, subtract, call, or do anything. Okay, and you can have local variable access also by just declaring a val here. Okay. Am I clear on this? Any doubts on this? Is it too confusing? Sakalya or Smita?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, so if you want to access global variable, you just put double quote here and use it. Okay, if you want to use local variable, you don't need to mention the scope resolution operator. It is just local. But if you want to have access to a namespace one, you can mention. Similarly, you can have one more namespace, copy paste this, and you can say second.
So here we means global variable is there, static variable now there.
Static
So
variable means you want to make this a static.
yes, is it
Okay,
possible or not? I don't know.
it is possible. It has nothing to do with namespace.
Okay, only you can put as a static.
So the static is a data type, right? It has nothing to do with scope. See,
Okay, same
it is
thing it
still
is then. Yeah.
accessible. Now inside this, now I have 6. Okay, but in this, right, when you will get into problems, that matters. When will you get into problem is, now I say using namespace first. Using namespace first. Okay, now what will happen here? So this is pointing to this. Okay, now what should this point to? Here. Okay, let's see. This works fine.
I think that global will not print. Only first
No, global should print.
global should
Global,
print.
because you put double scope here, right? Okay, but here it is
Means
still
only
referring to
first namespace content will be print, or second content will be not print. Means 600 will not print, I think so.
600
Only
we didn't use,
500.
right? We 600 we didn't use at all. We just added. We are not referring to that. Okay,
Yes, sir.
but I was expecting some error here. Let me compile this and see will it show any error. Okay, it compiled. So it printed 200, 200, 200, just a local variable. Okay, so I was expecting, since we mentioned it as using namespace first. Using namespace first, all the variables which are here should be visible without any scope. Okay, now I'll comment this part of the code. Okay, now what should this be? Why is this coming as error? Because we clearly mentioned using namespace first, right? See, we are getting error because you have a val at a global scope also. Okay, it is giving error because val can point to this or this. Okay, it is not able to resolve it. Okay, because you made it as first. So this is also visible and this is also visible. Now what it is showing,
Yeah. Means
val
that
is
is confused. Means
ambiguous,
ambiguous. Yes. Yes.
ambiguous.
So
So
which one he'll pick out? He
we don't know.
confused. Yeah.
Now if I uncomment this, okay, it is just picking this one. From here you cannot pick this guy or this guy. Okay, you need to specifically mention it. Okay, so what it can happen is you can have two namespaces, a global namespace and this namespace. Which it can pick is dependent on what scope you are in. So it's completely different. Okay, the behavior also you need to see what happens. And if you do some experiments, you can assertively say which is the variable which is getting picked or which is the function that is actually getting called. Okay, now this is a global scope variable, you get 100. Now the second one is this, it is printing 500, and third one is this. Okay, so just adding using namespace has no effect. Okay, the result is same. Only thing is if you remove this part is when this guy will get into trouble, because you remove this, there are only global and variable which is respect to namespace over here. Okay, only those are visible. So this namespace is not just stick to ints. Okay, you can have enums, you can have enums, structures, classes, functions, class, templates, anything you can have here. Okay, the same thing you can have it in another namespace also. Okay, in the second namespace also you can have it, like developer one can give his code. Okay, developer two also we can give this code. Okay, now assume you are writing a test case. Okay, now you are writing a test case to test which developer's code is working fast. Okay, to test which developer's code is working fast, you can ask them to give a code in different namespaces. Okay, but functions and all are same. So what you would do is you can just say second key under some function you can call. That's on this. So developer two wrote a function. Okay, now developer one also wrote a same function. Now which one is faster? You want to evaluate using one code. Okay, now we can do like this. So you can call and see the time difference. Okay, you can just timestamp it and see. Get date. It is just a dummy function or time. Okay, get time start, time end. Time end is equal to get date. Now time taken is equal to time end minus time start. Okay, so this is the amount of time that developer once function took. Okay, now you can simply do the same thing for developers to code, and you can get this one. So which one works faster? You can write your G test. Using that, you can solve the problem. Like you can write a test cases for this in this way. Now, how much time this guy takes? This guy takes it. You can print here and see which one is faster. Like see out. Whatever I'm writing is just a pseudocode, high level pseudocode only. Okay. Okay. So it will print the results. Now you can decide which one is faster, this developer's function or this developer's function. Okay, then that's enough. Am I clear, Sakali, on this? I think this is something which you
Yes,
can
that
use.
said that get date it is that function is not
I
declaring
didn't
anything.
write. This is a pseudocode. When someone
Yeah.
says pseudocode, it is just a
Yes.
code. You
Yeah, it
presume
will
it will
come
do.
error only if it run. Yes, that
No,
is.
it will write error, but I am assuming you will write the code. You
Mm-hmm.
should do the
Yes, yes,
implementation. This function will return
yes,
time or
yes.
get, and he will also return date. So you will do a subtraction here.
Yeah,
And
we can
whatever
find
the
out that frequency of running that
time difference, how much
code.
time that it took.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can solve this problem. Okay, okay. Next, let me remove this code. Just 1 minute, guys. Okay, next, the last one we can take is I think it's the same. I think methods, classes declared inside the name. The same function. Let's see. Yeah, this is we have done. I think first namespace was function, second namespace dot function we have done. We don't. The rest all are repetition. Okay, it's just the same. I think rest. I think we don't need. That's too much. This much is enough. I think. So I hope you guys are able to understand this concept, right? Namespace concept. This should be fine. So one more thing is what we can do with the help of namespace keyword. Okay, using what we can do. Okay, that we can go through now.
Oh, initially it will be
Yeah, we are
in
just
main
declare.
function you had used before. So now it is in initially using
No,
namespace.
it is. It is. I think this has nothing to do with using keyword. I think it is just declaring. You are just declaring here, and you are
Mm-hmm.
defining here. Okay, you just declared a class by name geek here, but you are expanding class ns.geek definition is here. You are writing constructors and all everything here. You just declared a class something here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, someplace. I think this is not required. I think we can go through use this also. Okay. Okay. So maybe to avoid confusions, I'll remove this part. Okay. Now, if you see, I just have a class. I just have a class which has a function by name display. What does it have? It just have a function by name display here. So this display is inside a class, and this class is inside namespace ns. Okay. Now in your code, you want to create a class. What do you want to create? You want to create a class of type geek. Okay. So how you would do is, in generally other ways, how you would do is something like this. Geek object. Geek object is what you would do, because class would have been declared at a global scope. Now we said this class is visible only at the scope which is ns. So if you want to create any instances of object geek, you should specifically mention the namespace. You should specifically mention the namespace followed by the class keyword. Then you can declare the objects. So you will not see any problem here. Okay. But I am very lazy. I don't want to call this twice again and again. So what I can do is I can give a short name to this. Like you would see the type def part,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes, alias.
Yeah, alias or type def. You can
Mm-hmm.
do something like this using ns geek as geek. Okay,
Mm.
it is expected. Okay,
So
let's.
object you should mention object something.
No, I'm just trying to give this guy a new name using keyword. Okay, sorry.
Space. Yes.
Let me write the right syntax. Geek is the geek display. Using namespace. Right. Using for aliasing. Okay, I just need to put is equal to. Oh God. Okay. So I am declaring a variable geek which is equal to ns dot geek. Okay. So it is just aliasing to this to something else. Now geek will become, so whenever a compiler sees geek, it will replace it with ns.geek, and I can create obj2 and I can call obj2 dot display. Okay, so if you have nested loops, nested namespaces, you can use this one. Okay, you can say ns2. Okay, and ns1. See, if you see this ns के अंदर ns2 and geek. Okay, so the way of calling is this. So you can have a namespace 1 and उसके अंदर namespace 2. उसके अंदर you have a class. Okay, you can give a name, aliasing name for this. This can be a class or a namespace also. You can give a different name. Okay, so you can do anything like this. ns2 as geek, as capital geek. Now capital geek means it will just replace it with this. It is just going to do a blind replacement of this, and you can use you can create an object and call it without issues. So I hope I'm clear on this. So you guys know. Yes, I
Yes,
know.
yes. Yeah,
Okay.
understood.
S2. Okay. Now one more thing. Maybe we'll see std last one. COUT TYPEID type ID of obj2. Okay, this is very important keyword. Okay, this will tell you what this complete guy does. Okay, so what I did is I just printed the type name of this object. Okay, what is the name that it gives to it? So we created namespace, right? Namespace के अंदर ns2, उसके अंदर we have geek. Okay, now when we create this object, what is the name that compiler will assign to it? We'll just see this, and then where is the geek? Okay, I didn't save it. So it got compiled. Now you see at the end it is printing some funny characters. Okay, so what does this mean? We'll expose it. ns n2. N2 is what? Maybe some namespace 2, and then you have ns3, maybe this one, and you have ns2. Oh God, this is confusing. ns2 to 24. Then it has a data of type geek and e. So this is the name that it gives to geek. Okay, so it's some funny names. How to decode it? Okay, we may completely need to study this again. So n2, we can say it as namespace, and this is namespace 3, and again he has given n.
So every time it will come, or
Every time means
means try once again, means again run that one.
it will come same.
Same thing. Okay, okay,
Same,
okay.
it will come same. So it's a constant.
Mm.
It is this happens during compile time. Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
name that it gives will happen during compile time. Now I can change this name to T.
Like capital
T.
NS you do.
No,
Okay.
capital NS is already there. Will not confuse it. So let's see. We'll
Okay.
now you see NT. It added NT here. NT2. So
Mm-hmm.
NT2 is here. उसके अंदर it has 4. 4 maybe for class. Okay, and geek it has given here, and E. Okay, maybe 4 geeky means is the name that it has given to the class. Okay, and
Means
NT.
four means class. How do you know, sir?
I don't know. It is just I'm just
Oh.
assuming NT2 is here.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, and it has given some ns. This is here. So what is 3? What is 4? I don't know. So it is what compiler is doing. It is giving some unique names so that it will call the right objects for it. Okay. So you can use this keyword a lot to understand much better how this namespacing works, or how classes, or whenever you do virtual and all, right? Okay, you don't know what is the final object type. You can use this one, type ID. During runtime, it will find and print what is the actual object type and all. Okay. Okay. So any further doubts on this namespace?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, good. So I'll just say this and I'll push it. Okay, I think
Yes.
this should be fine for us, I think. Okay, thank you guys. I think I'll push this code right away. Maybe video also I'll push it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you, sir.
all. I think with this, I think we are completed. That's more than enough. STLs, I don't think would need to take. Okay, you guys can learn it because STLs itself is a huge chapter that can go for 20, 30 hours. Okay, that will never end. So better I'll start with this one. From here, I think we have done this Linux basic part. We'll do something else which we didn't cover. Okay, then we'll start with threads and IPC concepts. What it actually offers and how we can implementing them is what we would learn. That's best. So that's how we can learn Linux part. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.